What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another World of Warcraft video for the War Within, and today I'm coming at you with some launch specific advice, specifically when it comes to gold making. Now this video, or the aim for this video, is to be helpful to anyone, whether you're a beginner in the gold making stage, intermediate or advanced. The aim here is to have some relevant information to all of you, and I think it will be beneficial to pretty much all of you as well. Now, throughout this video, we'll be talking about some resources, like what's going to be available and when, and just some launch-specific advice, and also talking about profession tools. So, for example, which professions can make which tools. I have a very easy picture that I made in like Google spreadsheets for this, that you can use to follow, that I've been sharing in my Goldmaking Guide, for example, for a couple of weeks now, that you've had access to just to make it really simple to show you which tools are made by which professions. Now, talking about my gold making guide, if you want to have my help when it comes to gold making in the War Within, I do have a gold making guide specifically made for that purpose, which you can check out through a link down below. And I've talked about this guide in depth before, but a real quick summary is that it's a guide made for gold making, talking about professions and how to make gold with crafting. And we also have several gold farms, both solo and group content, that you can use to make millions of gold. In addition to that, when you buy the guide, it's a one-time purchase. You will get updates sent to you for free, and you get access to a Discord server where I share resources, spreadsheets, early access to videos, and exclusive videos as well. At the current moment, we already have 3 videos in early access, or 3 videos in exclusive access, and we have 1 in early access. That means that right now, if you buy that guide, you will have access to this video, for example, exclusive video for next level gold making, and we have found an absolutely broken gold making strat for the War Within, which you can once again have exclusive access to. So 3 videos that will never be public on YouTube, by me at least, which you will have access to when buying the guide, and 1 early access to like a gold farm that you can print millions with at the launch of the War Within, that you will also have access to. And that's just the beginning. We have plans for early access videos in the War Within as well, which means that when I find an absolutely broken gold farm, you will have access to that video before it goes public, so you can use the farm before it gets nerfed, and just that's my way of making sure that you have as much help as possible, and you can farm as much gold as possible, and make as much gold as possible as well. So basically, when you buy the guide, I will help you in any way that I can to make as much gold as possible in the War Within, and if that sounds interesting to you, once again the link is down below. You are directly helping me as a content creator, and helping me provide more and better content by spending more time in the beta and in the game itself, finding ways to break the game and make a bunch of gold. And if you buy the guide, thank you so much. Okay, so let's start this video off with advice number 1, and advice number 1 is that when you start with the War Within and you are leveling up, you will be leveling from level 70 to level 80, I will recommend pretty much everyone to pick up gathering professions such as herbalism plus mining. I would recommend herbalism plus mining as well, and the reason for that is that you can farm artisan security and gold while leveling by just picking up any herbs and mining veins that you get access to, and those first time gatherings will give you 5 acuity each. It will just give you more acuity that you can then spend at max level, which acuity is spent to, for example, buy knowledge points from vendors. When you get to the renown level, you also need 300 acuity per rare profession tool, so you will need 900 acuity for those tools and accessories. You will need a bunch of acuity, and you will not have access to all of that. You will get it week by week, but it will take a lot of time. But by putting this effort in, you can get 200 more acuity, roughly 100 from herbalism and 100 for mining. Now, for the purpose of this, I will leave a weak aura down below, which will actually show you when you have gathered certain items. For herbalism plus mining, it's super easy to follow, and it will just tell you the different nodes you can pick up to get acuity, and it will mark them as red or green, or I think so. Like, it will give you a certain color when you have actually completed that weak aura, or when you have completed that node, so you know what you have done and you know what you are missing. It is very easy to follow, and once again, the thing is with herbalism plus mining is that you will make more gold while leveling as well. You will pick up herbs. I don't think I have to say why that makes you gold. It might not make you rich, but it will make you more gold than if you didn't have it, and give you acuity, and give you experience. There's 3 reasons to pick it up. Now, the thing is, when you're doing crafting, for example, you will not be doing crafting while leveling anyway. At least most of you won't. You will be focusing on getting to level 80 first, and then you will start doing crafting. So unless you have some rare recipes from the past, like TBC recipes, Wrath recipes, vanilla recipes, like any of those old recipes, unless you have those, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't have herbalism plus mining while leveling, and then pick up your regular professions when you are level 80. Now, after you have done that, you can also shuffle through every single other profession that you can for those first craft bonuses, but that is a lot of work and could even cost you 1,000,000 gold as well, or even more depending on the prices, to just get a little bit more acuity. So that one is a little bit more for the advanced or intermediate gold makers. So you can shuffle through as many professions as you want for those first time bonuses for a little bit more acuity as well, but for gathering specifically, you will just get it technically for free. You would just have to go and pick it up when you're leveling, and if you have the early access, for example, there's no rush to level anyway. Like, world quests won't be open, mythic dungeons won't be open, there's a lot of content that will not be open to you, so you might as well spend an extra, let's just say 20 minutes while you're leveling to pick up some flowers and pick up some mining nodes. I just don't see why not. But once again, when you do get to level 80, you can also pick up crafting professions and do those first time craft bonuses, but it will be more expensive and a lot more work for way less reward than just doing the gathering stuff. After that, the next step will be to fly around and pick up profession treasures. Now, every single profession will have treasures. There's 2 in every single zone, 8 in total, and they give you 3 knowledge points each, so you can pick up 24 knowledge points, quote unquote, for free. And if you have like waypoints to them plus TomTom the add-on, you can get marks in game to show you where they are. Or alternatively, I also have videos on every single one of them. We cover every single profession. I even have a playlist that goes through every single one of them, so you know what to look for. It will visually show you, like for example right now you can see my leatherworking treasure video. It will show you where they are and what to look for, and in those videos we also have the waypoints, so you can copy the waypoints into a macro in the game and just get arrow in the game to show you where to go as well. So once again, I've covered every single knowledge point treasure location. I've covered all the treasures in separate videos for every single profession, and we have one big video that is a compilation going through every single one of them. Now, this will take you about 5 to 10 minutes once you know where they are, and give you 24 knowledge points for both of your professions. So if you have leatherworking plus blacksmithing, for example, you would get 24 knowledge points in both of them. So that will be number 2. Next up, do side quests while leveling, and the reason for this is that this will give you a lot of additional renown when you're leveling as well. And the thing is, when the War Within comes out, you will not have access to all the content. I actually have a picture right here which I grabbed from Twitter, which will show you roughly what is available and when it's available as well. So as you can see, even things like world quests and weekly quests and profession weeklies will not be available until the first weekly reset, which this is right here based on European server time. It will be different for North America as always, but as you can see, early access launch, what we have available is the War Within campaign, the Earthen Allied Race, Delves tier 1, 2 and 3, 8 War Within normal dungeons, new battlegrounds, and Deep Hole Ravine. Now the thing is, we also have access to side quests, and those side quests will give you a bunch of renown, so you could even make an argument here to having one character that fulfills 2 zones, and then the next character does the next 2 zones. The TLDR is, do as many quests as humanly possible, and get as much renown as humanly possible. If you have the early access, for example, you will have 5 full days of doing quests before the world quests are even available. So if you want to have a renown during this time, the only way to do so is really by doing quests. Now for the last launch-specific advice that I have for this video, let's talk about profession tools. And for this one, you either want to have additional characters for yourself to make the tools for yourself. Like, tools can be made through private or personal crafting orders. They can also be made through public. But the thing is, when you make a public order, if you go over here, for example, profession equipment, and let's just say you have tailoring, and you want to get some tailoring equipment for you, you would go here, you would search, you click on tailoring, click search, and you can make, for example, the spring-loaded fabric. But when you make it public, you have to supply everything. The thing is, when you make it a personal order, you don't have to supply anything yourself. You can just choose what you want to supply, and then you can choose what you want the crafter to supply. And the more you supply yourself, the less of a commission you have to pay, and the less you provide, the more of a commission you have to pay. The thing is, I can, for example, send this to a person that has all of these materials, and I have none of them. So let's just say we have Solheim Craft, which could make this for me. I could then get him to spend his acuity, for example, to then craft me this item. So what you want to do here is that you either want to have additional characters to make tools for yourself, in which case they will be spec'd into profession tool making to make the tool at the highest quality that they can, while guaranteeing certain stats. Now, if you don't have the characters yourself, or let's say you want to have one level 80, or you enter the War Within with 5 characters, you will obviously not be able to make these. That's when the aspect of the MMORPG comes into play. Make friends. Find people that also, like, if you have tailoring, I'm just going to bring this up. We have a picture for this, for the profession tools sheet. So if you have tailoring, you need to have friends with also tailoring. You need to have one friend with tailoring, spec'd into making the tailoring equipment at the highest quality they can. You need to have another friend with blacksmithing, and another friend with engineering. Now, that friend could be your own alt, if you have those characters. If you don't, just once again, make friends with these people. Now, if you have my Goldmaking Guide, for example, that will be extremely easy by just finding people in the same region as yourself, and then finding people on the same server that can make these tools. And a lot of people do play on the same servers, like the high-pop servers, right? So you can find people there, alternatively in the comments down below, to find people that have a certain profession tools and accessories to guarantee that you can have those at the start. Like, you need to find people as early as possible, and that way you can be helpful to each other. That way you don't have to pay thousands of gold in commissions. Like in Dragonflight, we had to pay, I think I paid 50,000 gold in commissions for my tailoring tools. Like, they were expensive. It just depends on the server that you play and how many people are actually supplying those items on that server. Like, if one person has monopoly of the market, he can charge whatever he wants, and you basically have to pay. Like, if there's one person that has monopoly, you either have to pay or you don't get the item. It's that simple. So yeah, this sheet right here just makes it super easy to find out which tools and accessories are made by which professions, so you know what to look for, or which alts to make yourself. And as you can see, some professions here are making a bunch of tools and accessories. For example, blacksmithing is making 5 tools and a bunch of accessories. Leatherworking as well, leatherworking is making a bunch of accessories, but no tools. But yeah, engineering, leatherworking plus blacksmithing, so leatherworking plus blacksmithing are making a lot. Engineering as well is making a lot. As you can see, engineering is making 3 specific tools, and some of them are really important. So for example, engineering is making the one for engineering, for tailoring, and for fishing. So you have those tools, and then you have some accessories as well, like for example mining accessories. 2 of those are made by engineering, and you also have an engineering tool or engineering accessory for engineering. So engineering is making a lot as well. So there we go, that's just an easy kind of sheet to follow for the profession accessories and profession tools that hopefully are helpful. And that's basically what I have for you for the launch itself. That's basically what I have. That's what I'm going to be following. I'm going to be having herbalism plus mining on my character at least, because once again, unless you have any recipes from the past that you really want to keep, there's no reason not to get that extra acuity and extra materials and extra experience at the launch. So pick up herbalism plus mining on your first character that you're leveling, and then just feel free to drop them at level 80 and pick up your regular professions. So yeah, hopefully this video was helpful to you, and once again, if you want my help on a deeper level when it comes to gold making, check out my War Within Goldmaking Guide if you haven't yet. So once again, the link to that will be down below in the pinned comment or the video description as well. And if you do pick up the guide, thank you so much for the support. I really do appreciate it, and it means a lot. And if you can't pick up the guide for some reason, don't worry. The thing is, when I make content, I aim for 95% of everything that I know for gold making to be free and available here on YouTube. The only thing is I'm locking the other 5% behind a paywall and trying to give even more back, but 95% should always be free and easily accessible, and then we just lock a little bit extra behind that paywall to hopefully make even more gold. And speaking from the past, having 5% that is less public usually makes more gold than the other 95%. So my aim is to be helpful to everyone, both the people that have the guide and support me through the guide, and those of you who are watching me on YouTube and supporting me on YouTube by leaving comments, leaving likes. Like, the support on my War Within Goldmaking videos has been absolutely fantastic, and I just want to say thank you so much. Every time that I swap from, for example, Classic to Retail, it's a little bit scary, because some people will be sticking to only Classic content, and they only want to see Classic content, and they will shame me for going to the War Within, and it's always scary to see how many people stop watching versus how many new people start watching as well. And then we have a bunch of people that play both versions. Like myself, I still play Classic, and I play the War Within, and at the launch of the War Within, I will probably only play the War Within for a couple of months, but yeah, I enjoy every single version of WoW, and hopefully you do as well. Either way, that's the video. War Within hype, launch very soon. Hopefully you're excited, as excited as I am. I'll be streaming everything live on Twitch. Either way, that's a long video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again in the next one very soon.